If vision and mission are destinations and desired outcomes, then strategy is about pathways and outputs. Companies publish pages and pages of strategy that few read and fewer understand. But strategy is not the complex beast we make it out to be. Strategy is important, and the reason it's so written about, so talked about, and so central to what we do is because it is the pivot between our thinking of vision and mission and the activity of operational planning. And much like the pivot on an old set of weighing scales, it will take the full load of both vision and mission and operational planning. So it better be good. Strategy is as much about what you're not going to do as what you will do. Strategy acts fundamentally as a filter. It filters all the possible activities that you could do to achieve the vision and mission to just the ones you will do. And in doing that, it gives you focus and saves you from burning yourself out, chasing endless opportunities to deliver the mission and vision. So take, for example, you're going to visit your best friend and you might want to pause the video and write down all the ways that you could get there. A bicycle, public transport, the bus, a car, you might even want to ride a horse. Now, all of these are strategy options. And some of them will be limited. There's no point in choosing to cycle if you don't own a bike. Whatever you choose, you need to stick to that strategy, because it makes no sense to decide that you're going to take the bus and then pump up the tires on your bicycle or fuel the car. Now, in all transparency, I have worked for organizations who have done just that. They have chosen a strategy, but not stuck to it and pursued other strategies alongside it. I compare this to driving the bus and taking the horse and the bicycle on it with you. It makes no sense. It leaves you tired, your resources spread over too wide an area, and you're not getting to your vision. It is almost painfully simple to articulate strategy. It is a buy statement. More specifically, a buy statement that tells us how we are going to deliver the mission and the vision. When I articulate strategy, I like to work with the connection between mission and strategy. So I would say, I'm going to do this by doing this. And that sequences my thinking between mission and strategy and how they interact together. If strategy is that simple, then why have so many of us sat in 2-hour+ meetings or received 180-page documents on strategy? I can't give a blanket statement that will cover every painful experience you've had with strategy. But my belief is that when we talk about strategy, many times people input the thinking behind the strategy in what should be a simple buy statement. They're trying to equip people with understanding of what drives those decisions. But we must remember that strategy is communicating for action. Put all that thinking in a separate document for those who want to know. But for the majority, stick to the simple buy statement. So who should make your strategic choices? At first sight, it might seem that the people who set vision and mission are best placed to decide strategy, and that may well be the case. But if in setting vision and mission you've used SMART goals and SMART measures, it may well be a balance between the leaders and doers who can give you the best strategy. Often the people closest to the frontline work can give you the most insight. Now, I use leaders and doers in very relative terms because if you're starting out in pursuing your dream and your vision, you might be both the chief executive and the janitor. So perhaps the best way of looking at it is to say, what question are we trying to answer with strategy? And that question is, how do we achieve the mission? And if that's the question, Then look at the team around you and say, who is best placed to answer that question? Much like with Mission, people often ask me, can you have multiple strategies? And much like Mission, the answer is yes, you can, with the same risk of spreading your resources and intellectual capacity too thinly. But there is another added risk to having multiple strategies. How do you know which one is working? Now, in some cases it will be easy. There will be simple measures. If we go back to the model of feeding people, you could say, I've opened a soup kitchen and I'm opening a food bank. And you can easily chart the numbers that use the food bank and use the soup kitchen. And in doing so, you can see which strategy is more effective by which of those strategies has more people. Some are harder to measure and analyze. Bloggers use click-through rates to determine which of their posts are most successful and appeal to their audience. If you can't gain that same level of accuracy and insight, you risk investing in a strategy which is not making any returns because the failure is being masked by an alternative, successful strategy. If you're just starting out, I recommend you choose one strategy and stick to it. If you give it 100%, you will know whether it did or didn't work. Don't be put off by your previous bad experiences of dealing with strategy. Strategy is simply choosing a direction.